Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing, well, what appears to be, it's kind of set offhand, but it looks like it's a pretty major policy change with regard to U.S. visa interviews. So these are interviews occurring at State Department, basically embassies and consulates abroad, outside of the United States, under the auspices of the U.S. State Department. This came from an update on visa services from state.gov, and it's under briefings, foreign press centers, update on visa services. Go ahead and stick this up there. This was basically almost like a podcast Department of State did, where they were talking about some information regarding consular processing of visas. And then there was this quote, quoting, "Finally, I'll mention staffing. The department is actively engaged in increasing the number of consular officers who are overseas adjudicating visas." That's certainly good news, just on that front alone. Quoting further, "We've doubled consular officer hiring this year from last year, and we have a growing team of experienced adjudicators who are supporting high-demand posts by," and this is key, "remotely adjudicating visa cases." Quoting further, "and that lets posts overseas have more time to interview applicants who must come in person." Can't tell you how big a deal this is. Let me quote that again. "We've doubled consular officer hiring this year from last year, and we have a growing team of experienced adjudicators who are supporting high-demand posts by remotely adjudicating visa cases." I'll try to get a link up in the description below on this if you want to have a look at that. There's a lot of info there. Frankly, a lot of it's pretty wonkish. I don't know most people are going to really care. But it's that supporting high-demand posts by remotely adjudicating visa cases. I mean, that can only mean one thing. We're talking Zoom interviews with respect to visa cases. Now, exactly what this means remains to be seen, but that's a major sea change within the immigration apparatus if that is indeed what we're seeing. I personally have my issues with it, especially with respect to the immigrant visa categories, and I'm going to do a video on that just sort of on its own to kind of dive into kind of what I think on it on just sort of a personal level, if you will. But the long story short is, and what to take away from this video is, if we start seeing remotely conducted visa interviews, and I don't even care in what context, even if it's just non-immigrant visas, whatever, that will have a tremendous impact on the way we process cases, not only through the U.S. Embassy here in Bangkok, but around the world and throughout this region. That would change things tremendously. If nothing else, if only a certain subcategory of visas were doing this, but it was a high volume subcategory of visas that were doing sort of Zoom interviews for their visa interview, it would free up a lot of resources associated with other visa categories like immigrant visas, for example, or even employment-based visas, things like this, that would, and that would have a major impact on consular processing. Of that, there is no doubt. So this is some interesting stuff. Kind of, I won't say flippantly, but just kind of mentioned offhand in this State Department announcement. And yeah, that's something that will have a tremendous overall impact on consular processing of visa cases in the coming months and years.